I'm going to do the introduction and then we can begin. Follow my lead. Very, very easy. Very, very natural.
Very, very natural.
Welcome everybody to Dynasty Cardcast episode 2, where I have got Shaban, Nick, and a very special guest, MJ. Everybody, please give an introduction to yourself. Shaban first, then Nick, then MJ, please.
So I'm Shaban. I'm a senior rep with Dynasty. I'm sure you guys have seen me on some of the YouTube videos. But yeah, really excited to be here for the first podcast. And yeah, let's get it cracking. Let's go.
Hi everyone, I'm Nick. You may have seen me from the previous podcast episode. I'm a senior rep as well, and I'm looking forward to recording today.
I'm MJ. I'm not a senior rep. You've seen me before in videos opening lots and lots of packs, and I probably have a very unique perspective of having seen lots and lots of cards.
Yes, which will be very, very interesting for this episode because we are revealing some of our newer cards that are coming out next. Oh, epic surprise faces. Okay. So, before we begin, for anyone that did watch last week, apologies for all the giggles. There will be more. We will be making more jokes and having more fun. Now, first card. As you guys can see, this is Fung, our third champion that we're releasing. 8 cost, 2 range, 4 strength, 6 health, with the level up condition of if your opponents control more units on the battlefield than you do. What do you guys think? Any takers? Who's first?
I'll start on this one. I think this card is extremely good. So I'll start breaking down everything. We'll start with the 8 cost. If you were here last week, you would know how much I love even numbers. Having an even costing card is so beneficial, and this outweighs even more to the odds now. So having the 8 cost is
right
good.
there, Nick. MJ, you're a maths teacher. Explain to me why he thinks 8 cost is so much better. Because I don't get it.
So I believe he's just going off the idea that you start off with an even costing of resources at the start of your turn. So if you have all even cards, it's much more likely to add up and make the most efficient use out of the resources that you've got.
Cool. I'm stupid. Nick, back to you.
So on top of that as well, most of your a lot of cards are go in multiples of 4, so having that even consistency just strengthens your curve a lot as well. So having an 8 cost is good. It also means you can chuck it away for 8 resources if you really need to. The 2 range is great. The 4-6 stat line, I think, it's a good stat line. It's not like an amazing stat line, but it's a well-balanced stat line. I think it's a really interesting level up condition. This introduces, I think, our first comeback mechanic, I guess, in Dynasty, where they're controlling more units. So we're going to get an advantage off of that and try and gain momentum back, which I think makes this card quite good. Also, sorry, I have just thought of this. It's really easy if you're going second to activate this, because your opponent's going to play at least one thing. So then going second, you can play this down. It's an instant level up.
That is pretty broken. I didn't think about it like that. Well, it's been revealed now. So, Shaban, any thoughts on this champion?
Yeah, I think it's definitely, like Nick said, it will be good as a comeback mechanic. I do feel like that part maybe introduced somewhere in the ruling where it's you can't play this straight away, after your opponents had their first go. But I feel like other than that, if it's a comeback mechanic, it could work really well, along with a couple of the new other champions that are coming as well.
I mean, following on from that, though, you're saying there needs to be some kind of mechanic that stops it from being activated first turn. That's the whole point of luck of the draw. You could go a whole game without seeing any champions. You could go a game seeing all champions in the opening hand. Whatever you draw, you have to accept that sometimes.
Yeah, you are right in that sense as well.
That is true. But do you know what? I'm going to have to, go against Nick here. and you, Shaban, and maybe you, MJ.
Okay.
He is so weak. He is one of the weakest champions in terms of health. He's a 6 health.
True.
Shen's a 7, and
True.
I think one's an 8. Is one an 8? I don't remember. She's either 7.
You're the creator, bro.
Yeah,
You're the creator.
I know there's too many
Yeah,
things in my
no,
head.
one is a 8, yeah, I believe, and
Yeah.
Shen's a 7.
Whereas Longfeng is a 6. Even if you okay, let's say you have 3 units, right? 3 units is gonna kill him. You have 2 moderately good units and an item card. He's dead. He's gone.
Mm.
And the fact that you have to play him second, or when your opponent's field is filled up already, that's like you've got to make that comeback, right? If you deploy him first, you're never gonna get that level up until they play more than you.
I mean, another strategy you can mix in with that is the whole idea of retreating as well, though. Let's say you're even Stevens, all it takes is for you to retreat 1, and then it's like instant level up then as well. So it's not just about having less on there, it's are you even? It's not even just a comeback then, it's just this is breaking the tie of units as well.
You gotta
Also, in this scenario as well, don't forget, because Dynasty works in a free play motion, you can do any action, any order. So even if you're ahead on units, you can swing and trade into units to kill them off, and then go behind on purpose to play out your Lung Feng and then get that level up instantly. So this card can create huge bursts of momentum to have an instant level up. If we're looking at other champions, let's take Wenho. She needs to kill 3 things, so that's going to be 3 turns minimum that she's out before she can level up. And if we take a look at Shen has to trade into something, so that can take 1, 2, or maybe even 3 turns as well. So having a really big burst of speed with Lung Feng is going to be to our players' advantage here. So I think this card actually is a lot better than you're saying, Hinchi.
But it's 8 cost. It's high, like out of the base champions, one of the highest. He's on par with 1, with being at 8 cost. But then the stats are just. I don't think it's as good as people think.
But you do have to remember as well, the trade-off there as well is the fact that this is a base champion with 2 range. So you've got much more flexibility in terms of being able to use him and not have him being attacked. So he can be like protected by the unit's front or structures.
That is that is true. I have created a beast, and I don't like what I've created, guys. Anyways, what are the key strategies that you guys are seeing in your heads right now? Like, how would you play with Longfeng?
I think. Sorry.
You go.
I think what MJ mentioned was good as well. Like, if you all of a sudden retreat a unit or retreat a couple units, you can then play it. That could be a strat, definitely. But I kind of agree with you, Hinchy. It's not the most powerful in terms of like what damage it can do and the health it's got, and it is very high cost. It just really depends on the card pool at the time. Obviously, the card pool is going to keep increasing and increasing and increasing. So I feel like once that sort of, I think that on its own could balance it out very easily over time.
MJ, Nick, what do you guys think? What strategies do you guys have?
With this card, I would hard mulligan for it. I would choose to go second and play like a very rush deck, because you can take advantage of this. You can use low cost cards like a sword recruit or a spear recruit. It only costs 1 or 2, then you're not actually having to trade anything off, and you can get a really big burst of momentum early. I know we don't know what his level up does yet, but having a leveled up champion no matter what is always going to be a benefit. So hard mulligan for this going second, get a really like aggro hand, and you can play this down and just really generate that early momentum that your opponent has to respond to. It gives your opponent the ultimatum of, am I going to mulligan for a tea break, and am I going to leave them resources up for a tea break to stop the early swings in the game? Because if we think about it, Lung Feng is 4. If we have even a sword recruit, that's going to be 5. That's 10% of your health. If you can get that on your first turn, that's insane. And if the leveled up version of Lungfang has a stat increase, that's just going to be nuts for that really early swings.
MJ?
I mean, the way I play, like, this is going behind a wall I've built with a builder-bar supporting it.
You're gonna
Like,
build up an entire wall of walls and then just start poking people from behind.
Exactly, there's so many cards it works really well with. And then if they've only got their base champion out as well and they're not playing Lung Fung, then they can't actually do anything to him unless you start getting some of the units in. I'm fully for the defensive play to keep him alive, to be able to get to the point where you have less units than your opponent.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love how you're completely opposite to Nick, because Nick's just going, I'm going to get him on, and I'm going to get other things on. I'm just going to ram the field with just attacks. He is a big monster. Now, most importantly, let's do ratings. Shaban, out of 5, right? These are 5 Dynasty booms, right? How many?
Dynasty booms, okay.
Dynasty
Not heard that term before, but let's go. So 5 Dynasty booms, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst.
Yes, that's right.
Not gonna lie, I don't know. After Nick's interpretation, your interpretation, I feel like I'm gonna give it 4 Dynasty booms. I feel like it's not like completely broken, but it is very useful, and I feel like it could be useful in many different situations. Like Nick did, it could be used as an aggro card. Or, like MJ said, it could also be used as something a bit more defensive because of that 2 range.
Okay, we've got 4 boom. Any other boomers here?
Oh no, MJ, I want you to start with this. I want to go last on this one.
Okay, quoting one of my very favourite songs, boom, 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 boom. I want you in my deck. 4 booms.
4
Oh my
booms as well.
Yeah, I think it would be higher if it was the stats, but for having the slightly weaker stats, just, yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Nick, let's hear it.
I'm giving this 5. I'm giving this 5 Dynasty booms. This card is insane. You are sleeping on this. I am rocking up with this card, and you're dying within 4 or 5 turns. I'm sorry, but this card absolutely murdered you. It's so good that Henchy has left the room.
Yeah.
Only one card is allowed 5 and higher. Only one card in this game, Nick. Who is that card? Who is that card?
Lungfang?
No. I'm gonna ignore your comments. But okay, no. To be honest though,
Hey, Hinchy, who do you think deserves it? 5 Dynasty.
He's gonna
the
say
one and only.
the one and only. Everyone knows. If
I think I know who it is as well.
Who is it?
Shen.
There you go.
It's
that's
But it's a bad card.
Okay.
Shen's a bad card.
We're not discussing that today. We're discussing Lungfang. And
Before we move on,
Okay, no, go on, MJ, go on.
I just want to say, like, credit to Valen as well for, like, making another fire artwork with the card.
Shout out Valen. Shout out. Valen is absolutely amazing. So he's been shouted out on the podcast now. But back to the whole Lungfang. Yes, Nick, he's very powerful. I agree with that. And unfortunately, I do think he is one of the more stronger ones. So I would also give it a 4. But no, not a 5. Like, just because of stats. He is too versatile. But we'll see. I think
Hold on.
he's weak enough to
Can I- Okay, but there's an argument for that because we don't theoretically, right? You play Lungfang. Sure, the stats aren't great, but what happens when it levels up? We don't know yet. But on the possibility of that has to be a 5. That has to be a 5 because we don't even need to look at his stats right now. You can ignore everything on the card apart from the cost and the ability to say that is a 5-star. Because the fact that you can turn 1 going second, turn 2 going first, get a level up out is huge. Like, I don't think you're realizing how big of a swing in momentum that is.
And then this is where I reveal the second level up of him. So then, bang. Fung, the Blizzard Wind. 9 cost, 2 range, 4 strength, 6 health, with the ability of once per turn deal 1 damage to all enemy units. Who wants to go first?
Go on, I'll go first. I feel like that level up ability is pretty crazy. It's pretty good. Very good actually. That's a constant tick of damage no matter where your opponent's units are positioned. They're constantly getting their health ticked down. I feel like that is a very useful thing in this game for sure. The 9 cost is a bit hefty, but I feel like we can get around that with some trade center movements. And yeah, obviously still 4 and 6. That's fine though, because I feel like the ability, is amazing. A very, very good ability. I think Nick would agree with me there, probably, and MJ as well.
I would like to say you don't have to worry about the cost because you are leveling it up. So you're only paying that 8 cost, and then you're going to level it up for free.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Just by using the ability. So the cost, I would say, I'm annoyed because it's an odd. Genuinely, if it was an 8 again,
If we rewind like 10 seconds, didn't you just say it didn't matter that it's a 9 cost?
it doesn't matter. It's a 9 because you're playing it, but if it's in your hand, it does matter because you can trade that off, right?
Okay.
So it matters when it's in your hand, but it doesn't matter when it's being played. Because the whole point behind the odd versus even is that I'm going to trade these cards off, and having an even curve is retroactively better than having that odd curve. Also, I think the 2 range staying is great. The stat line, although I wish it would have gone up a bit, it would have made the card completely busted. So staying at the 4/6 is good because that ability is insane. Dealing that 1 damage to all enemy units, no matter what strategy you use it in, if you use it in like my rush strategy, you're getting 1 ping on everything from the start of the game. Or if you're using an MJ strategy where you're building your resources, building them walls, and then playing it down, it's going to be a gradual ticking time bomb that your opponent has to find an answer to. But then if you play so defensively with cards like Heavenly Peach and you just reinforce it constantly, then it's going to be really hard to out on that opponent, and they're going to just have constant things going out. This is like a card, I think, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called like Sea of Arrows. It's a 4-cost order.
Yeah,
and
Sea of Arrows.
It does the exact same thing, which is great, but this is on a body that happens every single turn. So if you think you're paying 8 for a body that does the thing that a 4-cost will do. So I think it's actually insane. I think this card is nuts.
So you've picked up exactly what I was going to go with there. It's Sea of Arrows every turn. Pretty much, let's call it for free because it's just happening when you want it to. But then talking about like the attack of it, like the strength is 4. But then when you think about the damage that you're actually dealing every turn, if your enemy has more units, and it's not really just a 4 damage card, it's a ranged damage card because it can be anything from doing 4 damage direct because I've got no units to they've got 10 units on the field. That's 14 damage it's potentially doing in 1 turn.
That is true. That is very, very correct. And I'm gonna have to play devil's advocate because no one's hating on this card, so I'm gonna have to be the hater. His health doesn't change, and again, look at the draw. But obviously, we can say that with every card. But if you were to put him up against a 1 or a Shen, he is dying. Whereas if as in them attacking him, if he attacks the other 2 champs, they're not dying. He's dying against the champs on a 1-on-1 battle. And like with Longfeng, you need to protect him. Like he needs to be protected for you to really maximize his output. Because if you just end up rushing with him and he's leading, right? then he's dying very, very quickly. And the only way that you are going to use him in a united attack is having him right at the back to, you know, obviously use his effect, but also have that buff of his ability. But then with cards like archers, you could just snipe him out with 2 cards, basically, and he's gone. So there are so many different, like, easier ways to get rid of him against the other champions, because the other champions have bigger health and do a more substantial attack. Although he is good with that area damage, he's not very good on a one-on-one basis.
I agree, but if you put it into the context of this card's coming out quicker than any other champion in the game, right? This card, because of that level up condition being so easy to hit, we're getting so much more efficiency out of this, and by the time your opponent's able to stabilize out of it and kill your Lung Feng, you've probably already established a board, or you've established some sort of card advantage in the form of, I don't know, maybe you've got T-breaks in your hand, or maybe you've got Intimidate so you can deal with them threats like your Shen or the Wen. So you're at the point where the card's already served its purpose in, I've force my opponent to out this. If they don't out this, this is such a big issue that I just essentially will just sweep you out of the game here.
I mean, there are a lot of cards you can combine this with to help with that. Like, you put on a simple chariot, it can move around faster than any of the other champions can. If you play it, or same with like simple sword, simple shield, just to help with that little bit of extra something that it's doing. And then again, if you're going with the strategy of you're behind structures, you're behind other units, champion wise, Shen isn't getting close because it's only got a range of 1. Wen's your big thing there because she's getting the range of 2 if they've managed to get her battle champion out. But unless they are at that point where the battle champion has come out, then champion-wise, you're only dealing with ones that only have 1 range, so it can be behind other things and still not have to worry until they get to that point where their battle champions are also coming out.
I feel like where this card could be pretty dangerous is, 1, you've taken out those pesky archers, those Blue Moon archers especially. I know we haven't heard that in a long time, but there we go, Blue Moon archer, he's back. So if those pesky Blue Moon archers are targeting Long Feng, and you've taken them all out, then that's fine. You're smiling. But also, if you have a Heavenly Peach on Long Feng, and you also have a tanky unit behind him, it is going to take a lot of damage to destroy him. And obviously he's going to regenerate that health constantly after every battle. So yeah.
Also, I would like to add, this may change deck building to the point where we're going to run 2-2 splits now, because before the meta was that everyone runs a free base 1 evolved champion split. So now imagine the possibility of you have 2 evolved Lung Fengs out, right?
Wow.
Every turn pinging things for 2 without even having to trade off anything. You're just doing 2 damage chip every turn to every single creature, or every single monster, sorry. And you're not taking any return damage. Then this can open up windows for, I know we've joked about this, for things like your simple swordsman, right? Your 1 cost 1/2, right? Because 2 Lung Fengs makes a Blue Moon Archer 1 health, and you just play the simple sword, and that's 1 damage. So it's a trade-off. It makes it an even trade, which is a great thing. You can kill all your squishies. It's just such a good card that I just don't see you being able to run any other champion over this right now. It's so good.
I was going to say, like, I'd say one of the scenarios in which Lung Feng might not be as effective is, like, say mid to end game is pretty even. There's not many. I'm talking about this upgraded battle champion, by the way. And there's not many units on either side of the board. Then his level up ability isn't going to be doing much at all. That's the only way I see in which he won't be as effective.
Yeah, no, I agree. The best way to counter him is have isolated battles. If your opponent, right, if you know your opponent's gonna play a lung deck, then you're gonna play your units very strategically, because if you have if look you have a unit and then your opponent has a unit and they play the lung, right, you're even. They don't have more units than you do. You have the same number of units. It's until you play another one on top, that's when he levels up. And then it forces your opponent to be in the position of, do I want to play more units to win the game, or do I wait and see who wins this one-on-one before I get to level up? So just merely not even playing units gives you an advantage against him to counter him. Like, that's why I'm saying one-on-one situations, right? If you keep on just playing a 4 cost with a 2 attack, right? You're playing that, letting it die, and then you do it next turn, and then you do it again. Yeah, you might have sacrificed 3 units, but now you've just defeated your opponent's strongest card in their deck, right? By doing that, you're spending up to 12 resources in maybe 2 turns, maybe even 1 turn, and by doing that, you've isolated a threat in their deck by 50%, because they will only have the other copy of a Lung Fung, which will make your advantage then better in mid game.
Nick doesn't look happy at all.
Nick's not happy about that, but it's true.
No, it's look. All right, you tell your opponent, right? You tell people, don't play cards is the way to out this. But then how? That's not progressing your win condition. If you're not playing cards, you're not getting closer. No. Hold on. Let me have the floor. Hold on. You're not though, because as a Lung Feng player, right? I'm gonna see. All right, my opponent's slowing the tempo down, so I'm gonna play everything that's not my Lung Feng to swing that tempo, and then when they have to. No. Hold on. Let me finish. All right, I play my whole board. Then you're forcing them to answer it, right? Just then them playing cards out to destroy your cards, so then they're gonna have a bigger board than you. Then you play your Lung Feng, you force that answer out. Lung Feng comes in, creates that next swing, and then what do I do now? This card has counterplay, but the counterplay puts your opponent so far back that it doesn't work. It's not effective.
But then that's in the that position. So let's say you're somehow able to get 5 on the board, right? And you're saying you're forcing me to do something. I'll just play 4 on the board. I will always keep myself 1 below you. So when you try and play it, then I'm always evening out the odds, right? I don't have to match you 5 for 5. I just have to match you by -1. And as long as I keep on minusing 1, I can still move into those empty lanes and attack you directly. It's not just, well, if I play 5, you have to play 5 to counter me. And it's always all about taking that sacrifice earlier on to then dismantle your entire strategy. And that's when
you're
becomes
taking
really important, because he's a double attacker, right? He can swing that double attack.
I do get where Hinchy is coming from, to be fair, but that's also considering, like you said, double attack, for example, with Shen. That's considering, obviously, you've leveled him up at that point, which also would take 2 to 3 goes, let's say. But yeah, I mean, you'd have to be you'd basically be on the back foot for most of the game if you play that way, though. That's the only thing I would say. You'd be on the back foot unless you destroy those Lung Fangs.
MJ, how do you weigh in?
I mean, I'm thinking back to that whole comment of most people go with like a 3-1, or with Lung Feng they might go for a 2-2, one of each. I still stick by what I do, which is a champion and battle champion of 2 different champions. So you're not letting people know which strategy they have to play against you, because they've got to not only consider, is Lung Feng going to come out? They've also got to consider, okay, but what if the other champion comes out? That's what I've always played. I've always had a
Nick is.
a
I
10
just
and a
looked at
1.
Nick's face.
I've always played it,
Aww.
and
Bro's about to crash out.
like I don't have the best win rate, but I don't pull champions all that often. And when I do pull champions, it's a much closer game because people don't necessarily know which strategy they need to play against me because I don't know which champion's going to make its appearance.
See, MJ's a combo player, and he's played enough games to know how the numbers run, Nick. So anyway, I'm gonna
No.
swiftly move this along. I'm not gonna
No,
say anything else. We're gonna go straight on
Hold
to
on.
the Dynasty booms.
Hold
How
on.
many booms are we giving Shaban?
Boom. Can I give like points as well?
Yeah,
Like
you can give points.
2.3. Alright. I'm gonna give him on the boom scale A.
Oh,
I do think this card is a fair bit better than the normal battle. The normal champion. So I think I'm gonna go for like a 4.4 on the boom scale for this. I'm gonna go for a 4.4. No, let's call it 4.5. I'm pretty certain that this is one of the best champions in the game currently.
okay,
Or will be
MJ.
foreseeable.
I'm sticking with my boom, 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 boom. I want this in my deck. 4 booms because, yes, you've got the added benefit of the level up ability, but you're not improving on the stats of the card. So it sort of weighs itself out, and I think it is a great card. It's going to be in my deck. But there are cards that can counter it, so I wouldn't give it a full 5 booms.
I like it. So before we get on to Nick, I'm gonna do my boom. I'm just making him wait there. I'm gonna annoy Nick. I'm gonna say he's a 1. He's a one boom champ. You know, can't do too much. And the counterplay. Oh, just wait. When Nick gets this deck and I play my deck against him, just watch. I'm gonna play my units one by one, and he's gonna get so annoyed, and he can't do anything.
Oh, I can't wait for them 3 wins against you, Hinchy. What can I say?
Be fair. Be
Nick
fair as well.
already- he's blowing up with excitement. Okay, Nick, come on, let's hear your booms.
Call me Juice World because this is a robbery. This is a 5 booms any day of the week, right? This is 5 booms. I don't know how you can slander this card so much. This is insane. I want to bring up MJ's point about using a 1-1 split of like each different champion. Your consistency in your game, you don't have a consistent game plan in that because compared to even if I'm running 2 of one champion, I know what my game plan is. Compared to if you're playing 2 different things, it could be either a case of, oh, I have to commit to my Wen Ho to keep her alive, or I have to quickly trade off my Shen. Your deck is going to be so diverse that it's not going to have a consistent win con. Because what if you draw all the cards to build up to your Wen Ho, then you top deck your Shen? Your whole plan is butcher because then you don't have the resources to back up your Shen and then make your Shen as strong as possible.
And what if I tell you that I don't really play with that much strategy, so it doesn't make that much difference for me?
Okay, I'm gonna move this conversation along. This is a casual v sweat conversation. Well, okay, you sweats. Let's get you the next card.
Oh my goodness.
Yang Bei. 9 cost, 1 range, 3 strength, 7 health. Yes, that's right, 7 health, everybody. 7 health. With the level up condition of change 3 units you control into defensive position in the same turn. Who wants to go first?
I'll start.
I mean, go on.
Oh, no, go on, MJ. You start.
I'm going to go with what other people are saying. First turn, high cost card, resource center, 3 sword recruits, 1 cost each, Yang Bei out, put them all into defense, first turn, battle champion. There you go.
Okay.
Damn, Nick, what are you going to say about that?
Consistency is out that window. Consistency is out that window right there. I'm not drawing three. I'm sorry. I'm not a good
Yeah.
enough player to draw three sword recruits and my champion.
It's not even
That's
about
4
being
out.
good enough. That's just luck. Like at that point, that's not
Yeah.
even being good enough, bro. Yeah, I was gonna say
Like-
that you do need to be very fortunate for that.
So what's the thoughts on you two then, Nick and Shaban?
Do you want to go first, Siobhan, or me?
I feel like the level up condition is definitely a little bit harder. Not too much harder, but a little bit harder than Long Feng. Personally, obviously, it depends on the scenario with Long Feng and whether your opponent is able to sort of capitalize on Long Feng leveling up by making sure that he doesn't have more units on the board than you. But I'm trying to see here. Yeah, I'd definitely say it is a little bit harder than Long Feng, but damage-wise, he's not doing too much. He's not doing too much for a bulky hench guy. Like, he is really not doing too much in terms of the damage, but the health there, he's defending himself. That's what I will say. Very high cost, though. Very, very high cost. You would need to trade something in, I think, to have a sort of productive turn. But yeah, that's my thoughts on him so far.
Nick?
I think this card is extremely mid. Because we're going off of a 9 cost to start. As Siobhan said, 9 cost out of your 10 base is such a hefty thing that on top of that, you have to think that you need to play out 3 bodies, right? And you're not really going to want to play out 3 sword recruits or like 3 really squishies, because if we're in a position where I'm not getting my Yang Bei out on the same turn as all 3 of these, your opponent is going to be able to destroy the squishies really easily. So you're thinking you're going to have to get 3, let's say 3 to 4 cost cards out. That's anywhere from 9 to 12 resources, to the point where on top of that 9 from Yang Bei, that's 18 to 21 resources, which is 2 turns if you're trading in, which sets you back quite a lot for a 3/7. We don't know what it does when it levels up, but for only having 1 range, I think this card is just I think the stat range is good. I like having a heavy defense card, but I also don't think, like, you have Wen Ho that's like got 8 defense, and is it 4 or 5 attack or strength? I think it's 4.
Yeah,
I thought it was 5. Is it 4? Okay, but still, that is just a better stat line. And although this does have a very good level up condition, I just think it is still mid. I think it's the second easiest card to level up in the game. But I just don't think it's good enough, though.
I will pitch in now and say that I do think it's good enough, but you would have to play in a very certain way. But I know the way MJ plays. He's very defensive. This would be a great complementary card to a Long Fung, right? You have a Long Fung Yang Bei combo. This is perfect. You have a big ass body that is defense focused. If you're building walls and you have Long Fung as well, Long Fung ain't dying. He's not dying on the field, right? I'm going to say that and pass it on to MJ. Has that got some things moving in your head now?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's sort of those cards that you're pairing them up with. Like, I'm sure I must be one of the very few people that actually has a simple chariot in the deck. And
I think
like
that's a
you've
really
got
good card, but yeah.
Yeah, simple chariot, Yang Bei. You've got him moving around, protecting everything. Let's say you're lucky enough to have both champions out. You've got Yang Bei going around protecting. You've got Long Fung being able to attack from behind as well. So, he's taking all the damage. Long Fung's doing more of the damage. But also, let's say you're playing Yang Bei against Long Fung. I think that came up earlier. Yang Bei needs more units to be able to level up. You need 3 other units on the field, which, if you're playing against Long Fung, then that's you're sort of a bit of a disadvantage in terms of how you're going to be playing the cards. If you've got a split strategy, like with saying like Yang Bei, Long Fung, you're not as worried about it because you've got that other sort of idea you can go in on.
Yeah, no, like when I designed Yang Bei, he is meant to be a defensive god to people that want to do those troll strategies, especially your taxman strategy, MJ, because then he can just protect them. And like early game as well, having to deal with a 7 health like big tank, it is hard, but the main premise with all these lions, and the defensive cards that will be supporting him is that you're ramping up on defense early game to then you deploy your Yang Bei and then rotate everyone into defensive position, and then you get the level up. And then by that time, you've already created this impenetrable wall. Partner up with some ranged units. That is hard to beat.
Me personally, if I had him in my deck, I'd literally just be switching them to defensive position just to level them up. And then I'd probably switch them back at some point very soon after. But yeah.
Okay, well.
I would like to add, sorry.
Okay.
Can I add one thing?
But go on.
I don't know what the level up does yet, but I would like to think that it does something with the defense position because it's making us switch all these bodies in. So I think that switching it into defense will have a purpose.
Okay. Well, before we move on to that, boom meter time. Shaban.
Boom, 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 and boom. Half.
3.5.
So 3.5. 3.5. I'm thinking I like the fact he's stocky. He's got 7 health. I don't like his damage. I don't like his cost. I do like the level up condition. I don't think the level up condition is too hard. Obviously, Longfang's, I think that one is much better, but this one is still up there in terms of the level up conditions. It's better than Shen's. It's better than Wen's. So definitely a 3.5 for me.
Okay, Nick.
I'm giving this 2 booms.
Oh, that's a low ranking for a champ.
Yeah, I honestly, I was looking at it and I was just thinking the cost is way too high. There's no range on it. It's a bit slow if we're really thinking about it, because you have to. It's a 4-card level up, right? If we look at Lung Feng, or if we look at Shen is theoretically a 2-turn Evo, 2-turn level up. Sorry, so it's just slow, and I feel like we're going into a format that's going to be quite fast with Lung Feng. So I just don't think this card is going to be good.
Okay, that hurts my feelings as a creator, but that doesn't matter. MJ.
I'm going to sound like a broken record. Boom, 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 boom. I want this in my deck. 4 booms. If I'm being honest, it's 3 to 3.5 for the card and what it actually does. However, artwork-wise, puts it up to that 4. I love me a Jackie card, like Dragon's Assassin. Like, or I think is it Blossom Scout as well.
Blossom Scout.
Some of my favourite artworks are Jackie, so that just bumps it up a little bit for me.
You hear that, Jackie? MJ loves your artwork, and we love it too. Okay, my one, I would say, like, he's a 3, and it sounds counterintuitive to the whole, like, I love every one of my cards, but he's only a 3 for now. I think once you guys see the level up, you guys will see, like, the value that he brings and why he is so slow, apparently, Nick, because he is too slow for the current format that we're going to go into. So let's go into the next card, the level up for Yang Bei. Yang Bei, the Totem of Stone.
Damn.
9 cost, 1 range, 3 strength, 9 health. With the level up ability of all defensive position units you control can attack and retaliate as though they are in attack position.
That is the best level up condition in the game so far, in my opinion.
And let me explain this to all the viewers. This character can attack in defensive position and take battle damage as in defensive position as well. But anyway, Shaban, continue.
The reason why I think this is the best level up ability, is because, okay, again, the health is increased by 2. This is a tank now. This is literally a walking tank right now. Obviously, the range isn't that important, but I mean, it's not that great, but that's not the most important for him, I don't think. The cost, again, is 9, so you're still dealing with a hefty cost. That doesn't matter, though, if you level him up. But again, the artwork is amazing, so shout out to Jackie. And yeah, that condition is insane. For those of you who haven't played the game yet, so if you have a unit in defensive position, that means once it's destroyed, no splash damage is done back onto the general, so yourself. So that level up condition is crazy, and it could really, really save you defensively. And it could really sort of mitigate that damage.
I'm thinking back to Nick's point of, is this matching up with the way things are going, the way the game's speeding up? I think someone playing a Yang Bei in their deck is aiming to slow down the game. I'm not saying it's going to slow down the game in terms of what's like it's going to drag on. I mean, they're going to slow it down in the fact that less damage is being done, so it's going to take longer to overcome those cards that the person that Yang Bei is playing. I don't think it'll slow down gameplay at all. It'll just slow down how much damage is getting taken.
Mm-hmm. Nick?
I don't think this card is good. I really don't think this is good. Right. So
Well, explain it.
I'll start at the cost. Okay. For an evolved champion, a leveled up champion, to have the same cost as the base champion is an active nerf if you really think about it, because you're in a situation where you can trade this off comfortably, right? But you get no benefit. I would prefer this to be a 10 cost, this leveled up champion. I would like this to be a 10 cost over a 9 cost, because you're getting that extra value and that versatility.
Even numbers.
Inchi, do it. He's telling you to do it. Make it a 10 cost now.
Do it. If you make it a 10 cost, I might like this card a bit more.
Why would it be better
But
at 10 cost?
Because you're not... When you're looking at a leveled up champion, you're never playing it raw. You're never putting it down raw.
But that's okay. If you are playing it raw, it's better to be 9 cost than 10 cost. Because then
I play it raw all the time.
I don't like things raw, alright? I don't like it raw. Right.
Pause. Hold up, pause. What?
Nick.
You know what? That's a good thing.
I guess we found our new intro for this week.
I like to stay safe. I don't like it raw. I like it in defense. No, but I just don't
Nick.
Nick,
So-
Nick.
bear with me, right? It actually would be better as a 10 cost, because you're not going to play this out. So if you can
What if you have to? Right? What if you have to? Are you going to complain that it's a 9 cost?
if you're playing this out, you're in a losing position, right? If you're playing this out, you're using your whole turn for a 3/9. The stat line's not going to be good. You don't get his level up effect. So you're at a point where you're covering one lane, your opponent just goes, oh, so this lane's covered up. I'm just going to move everything over. I'm going to put my simple chariot so it can shift twice, or I'm just going to move it once naturally. I'm just going to go, you can't get out of this.
Nick, let me just say something though. You know, with your point though, the opponent could be in a similar position as well. So you could be playing Yang Bei. He could do a load. He could mitigate a lot of damage for you, so you're not taking any personally. So I think in that sense, as long as the opponent's board is similar to yours, he could be a decent card to pull out.
I think even if you
decent,
it's decent, but you got to consider there's 5 lanes in Dynasty. Like this will only cover 1 lane at a time, to the point where, and it's only dealing 3 damage per attack. So if your opponent has like, most things in the game are like 2 to 3, so you're gonna be able to get, your opponent's gonna out-tempo you so fast in the fact of they can play out 2 things and it's probably stronger than your Yang Bei, and it's gonna be, you can put it in one column, or you can put it in separate columns and make them have to diversify. And even if they move that Yang Bei into that one column to take out that unit, you're getting that chip damage on the Yang Bei, and you've still got your other thing like left standing to swing with. So it's just at a point where if you're playing this raw, you're out of the game, I think. And even
my MJ. What do you think, MJ?
I have a strat that would work with one specific card. Let's say you're at a point where you haven't got many good cards. You've got cards you can use, but they're not very good. You've got this. I quite often do this. I'll play the Battle Champion because I can level up from it after it's been destroyed still.
Yes, exactly.
I do that all the
That's what I was
time.
thinking as well.
But there is a specific card I'm thinking of that would work quite well with... Oh, no, actually it wouldn't work quite well with this. No. I keep forgetting the rule about you can only attack in a lane once. Otherwise, there's a card that's in one of the new decks that can stop opponents from moving, but if you attack with that card, then that's not going to work with them moving Yang Bei into then also attack. But it would stop... I don't know, it would work. Yes. So, one of the new Blossoms cards, because I was looking on, what's it called, Tabletop, with the new decks, and you've got the card Blossoms Archer that can, if it attacks, the unit it attacks can't move until, similar to how Snow Golem works, but it's if they've attacked it. So you attack with Blossoms Archer, then you move Yang Bei in front. And let's say it's this one, you've just played them because you need that card that you can use, because you've got nothing else that's really brilliant. Then the opponent can't move. It's got Yang Bei in front of it. If you're going to attack with it anyway, you might as well attack a Yang Bei. It's the least likely to take out your card. And you've got that sort of strategy to sort of work against at least one column. Yes, you're talking about this whole idea of split columns, but it's better to deal with one column and have another column free attacking you than having 2 columns free attacking you.
Think, Nick, me personally, I think you skipped over the fact that his initial level up condition is pretty damn easy to meet. And also, once you level up, and if you have that board advantage especially, you can just slide all your units in defensive position and move them as if they were in attack position as well, and not take any damage. You could be chilling for the whole game and obliterate their board and be calm. So that's my argument to you, though.
This man
just
cooked.
And then
he just cooked his argument.
I'm going to counter argue, right? The level up condition is so slow that you're going to be in a point where you are behind on either health or you're behind. Hingy, I can see you getting mad, but you need to actually listen to my point.
Not everything is about going fast. That's
it.
Not
the whole. Yes, Hingy. The whole point is we're transitioning into a fast-paced format. Okay.
We are not doing that.
Yes, we are.
We are in a multi-sped. Okay, I'm gonna jump in.
Multi-sped.
Yeah, but basically, right, you already have to have 3 units on the field before this guy can even level up, right? So At the end of this entire combo, you have 4 defensive units on the field that can deal damage and mitigate damage for player, right? Not just that, if you've got other units doing effect damage, right, they ain't taking anything back. No one's taking any damage. You could build up your walls, then deploy Yang Bei, turn everyone into defense position. You're screwed. Even if you have a Lung Feng, right, it does not matter because that wall will be too difficult to overcome. Because it's not just 1 or 2. You're thinking like you're going to get Long Feng in the beginning of the game. Realistically, you're not. It's so hard for you to get those cards early game, right? You got to think about mid to late game. If you're lucky enough to get it early game, then, GG, right? That's just you getting it early game. But if you get this guy late game and you've already got an established board, turning all them into defense position, Long Feng cannot penetrate that.
Exactly. Just imagine as well if you had even more units in your hand. If you had a unit heavy deck with this card, you had maybe a 2-2 balance or a 3-1 balance or something like that. Like literally, as long as you have a unit heavy deck, you could obliterate your opponent. I can't lie with this card. It is that level up condition for me is the best level up condition in the game.
I don't think so. I just don't see this card being good. I honestly don't, because you're leveling it up, right? You're not leveling this up quickly at all. So you're going to either be at a point where you're low on resources, right? You got when I say resources here, I don't mean the resources, the currency. I mean the resources like hand and board. You're going to be quite low on that because you're going to have to commit everything into this Yang Bei, and you're going to be trying to set up things in defense, but your opponent sees that you're playing these bodies, and my first thought, no matter what deck I'm playing, is I want to control the board, so I'm going to swing into these, or I'm going to manually retreat them with an intimidate or something. So also, I would like to put out how weak this strategy is against an intimidate. If you have a Yang Bei on the board and you've turned everything to defense that turn, your opponent intimidates, then they can't do anything in defense. They can't switch out of defense and they can't attack. So you're so vulnerable with this card that if this card gets cleared in any way, shape or form, your whole game plan is gone.
Say that again. What position are they in?
I'm scared.
In what position are they in?
In a vulnerable position.
They're in defense position. So how does that make them more vulnerable and a disadvantage?
Okay, because let's put this into context. You've got 3 things on the board. You've turned them all to defense. You've played your Yang Bei out. Okay. Your Yang Bei comes out and he's saying all defense position things can attack and retaliate, but your opponent plays an intimidate. That card gets fucked off. Now you've got all your things in defense where they can't attack, so you've wasted a whole turn on that, and it's going to take another 2 turns for it to come back. Actually, 3 turns, sorry. Is it? No, it's 2. It's 2. It's such a slowdown in momentum as well for your deck, and it's ruined your whole game plan. Because what you're going to do now...
But that's the same with any other champion.
No, it's not.
Intimidate.
He is right. It is kind of...
No, it's really not. Because is this card, you're committing so much into it. Why Lung Feng is so good is because it's a solo combo card. Like why Shen's so good because it's a solo combo card. That card can swing on its own. You don't need to back it up with anything like Lung Feng. Yang Bei, you need to commit so much into it that intimidate is going to be so costly.
Nick,
and this is why it would work in a 2 champion deck, like 2 different champions.
To be fair,
okay, but then,
I'm kind of going towards MJ now. I feel like that actually might be the new better strategy. Maybe running 2 champions, especially.
Champions deck.
I disagree.
Especially especially because
Consistency.
then your opponent doesn't really know what you might be doing as well. And also, what was I going to say with the defense? Yeah, okay. So Nick was saying that it would slow down if obviously an Intimidate was used. And yeah, that's true. But that is true of most champions. The other thing is, as long as you set up your board beforehand and you're anticipating that, I don't think it's as big of a problem as you're saying it to be. Because as long as you got your units in the right positions, all you have to do is flip them to attack position to then attack again. I don't think it's the biggest issue.
No, but
Thank
no.
you,
So
Shabab.
the whole reason behind that is because you've turned into defense position that turn, so you're waiting a whole turn, so you're behind, right? I also
But how
think
does being in
playing
defense position
split
make you behind?
because you haven't attacked. That's a turn that you haven't attacked.
Yeah,
No,
how
but
does
that's
it make you
only-
behind?
Wait. I'd say, Nick, I think I get where you're coming from, but okay, let's say it like this, right? So usually, okay, it depends when also that Intimidate's being played. Is it being played on my go and I have Yang Bei, or is it being played on your go and...
Yeah. So let me explain what I mean. So
Yeah.
it comes to your turn.
Mhm.
You have a board set up. Let's say you have 3 things, right? So
Mhm.
you don't have to play anything off into trade. You play your Yang Bei onto your
Mhm.
board anywhere. You level
Mhm.
up your Yang Bei by turning
Mhm.
everything to defense.
Mhm.
They have all used their one
No,
movement per
not
turn.
everything is turn 3 units.
Yeah. But I've just said we have
Yeah.
3 units on board.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're turning all your things, right? They've
Mhm.
used their one movement, so they can't then turn back to attack that turn. You've leveled it up. Your opponent then goes, okay, I will intimidate your Yang Bei.
Okay.
Your Yang Bei goes, then they can't move back into attack, and they can't attack. So you've slowed them down a lot, and the Yang Bei won't come back for another 2 turns. So then their 3/9 is stuck in retreat.
So Nick, if I'm right in assuming this, so you're saying basically you're gonna intimidate as soon as they've turned it into defense position, basically.
As soon as the level up comes out.
As soon as the level up comes up.
Or,
so yeah, so
well,
basically
it
as soon as
depends.
yeah.
It depends, because if you're the player with the Intimidate, because it has a quick play efficiency, you can play it whenever you want. You can wait if your opponent has a lot of resources and you think they're going to play things out and then commit them into defense mode, then you can play the Intimidate then and shut them down even more. So you're really, as a Yang Bei player, putting it into your opponent's hands of how bad do I want to get screwed over in that situation.
I do get that point a bit more. I do feel as if that could screw you over a little bit. It just depends though. You're also like MJ has brought on a few times as well. You're relying on the luck of the draw there. It depends if you have the Intimidates to do that. Obviously, you can have as many Intimidates as you want in terms of the 3 limit, but it really depends if you draw them. So again, it's one of those things that it really just depends on the luck of the cards.
MJ?
Can I wait?
I mean-
Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
I'm really
I
sorry.
was engrossed.
You're making a point of luck on the draw, but you're going to play a 1-1 split of champions. So your luck on the draw is going to be so heavy that you even hit this Yang Bei to use your condition.
Yeah, that's if I did go for a split.
Yeah.
The game's so multi-dimensional. Like,
Mm.
you can't just rely on the consistency of one strategy.
It's not consistency of one strategy. It's consistency I'm going to use that strategy. Because if I'm using one of each card, that's 1 in 50 to 60.
Yeah, but you never know how your opponents are going to stack the field. But that's a completely different conversation. That's talking about, like, movement strategy and stuff. Anyway, MJ, what do you think of Nick's yapatonics?
Yap! Nah,
Yeah, Platonic, or what?
chat back me up. Chat back me up.
I get where he's coming from, in the respect that you see cards like this, your brain instantly goes to, okay, I like this idea, I don't like this idea, yada yada yada. And whilst I respect that's what he's doing, you also need to think about any of these strategies you come up with. Yes, you've come up with them. how often are they going to come up as a situation? How often are you going to have an intimidate when they're about to play their Yangbei? How often are you going to actually draw your Yangbei? I feel like at some point we've gone from talking about this as a battle champion card to just being like an entire Yangbei general discussion. And I think we sort of need to go back a little bit to how does this card work as a battle champion? It has a good effect. It's got a good defense. It's got the same cost. It's got the same range. It's got the same attack. So you've got, in theory, whatever you think Yangbei is, you've got a better version. And then it's just up to the person, what does their brain do to then say, do I think this is a much better version, or do I think this is just a slightly better version?
Yeah, and it depends how you pair up Yangbei as well. You could be playing a control deck with him, right? Or you could be playing like a very aggro deck with him. So it's all about that. Anyway, we're not going to continue because it's getting very long.
I've got. Can I make one more point? Can I wait? One more.
Right at the end.
I
right
promise.
At the end. We're going to go into the boom meter. We're going to suppress Nick. MJ, you go first.
I am going to go up to a 4.5 for this one. Not for the effects of the card, just because I like the artwork even more than the champion version. So it gets an extra half a boom just for the artwork, because the power in that stance, like the way Yangbei's holding that hammer, that stance he's in, you see the wind just going through his hair, like it's epic.
It is epic. Shaban.
I'm gonna go for a 4.5 as well. So pretty much same as Long Fang. I feel like any argument against him is kind of like is similar-ish to a lot of the other arguments you could have about other champions. I just feel like if you really have board control, and especially like mid to end game where maybe say I was playing against Nick, he's used 2 intimidates already, that it's unlikely that he has another one or whatever. Especially in that situation, that level up condition and this card is one of the best in the game in my opinion. So yeah, for that reason, I'm going boom, 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 boom and a half. Let's go.
Nick, go on. Say what you need to say.
I'm gonna say this is a 5 booms halved. It's a 2.5.
5 minutes.
I
God damn it.
Why 2.5?
Sure, it's better than the base, right? I give the base 2.
No, duh. It has an effect, bro.
Oh, shut up, man! Shut up. Yeah, well, I love how the defense is the effect is the first thing you point out, not the extra defense, which I actually think is the better part of this card. I don't think this effect is that good, so I'm gonna put it at 2.5 because I feel like it's very, it's like glass cannon-y. That's the easiest way I'll put it.
Just wait till Nick sees late game, and then he has to deal with the.
Someone's gonna have to humble him with the Yang.
I will take everyone on.
Can someone please humble him with a Yangbei, please? When these decks drop, someone needs to. MJ, that might be you.
I will pay for someone to have 3 packs if they beat me with Yangbei.
Oh my god, you heard it here first.
That's recorded. I am putting that on the internet, Nick, and
good.
That is
because they're not going to beat me. This card's bad. You're not going to beat me. You're not beating me.
Okay.
Run them hands.
Because of that, I would like to say thank you to everyone that's been watching. This has been this week's episode of Dynasty Cardcast. Yangbei's pretty cool. Lung Fung's pretty cool. They're going to be coming out next month, so keep an eye out for my updates. And I'm going to let these guys say whatever they want to say for the end credits.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's been amazing being on Cardcast for the first time. Hopefully this is the first of many. It was good we could talk about Long Feng and Yangbei in so much detail. I don't know what Hinshi's doing, but yeah. Bro's vibing. He's getting ready for bed. This is when you know he's tired. He's just doing random shit now. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, like we need to do this more. Definitely talking about the cards in detail. It gets a lot of cogs turning. It gets us thinking about a lot of in-game scenarios. And definitely, I feel like a lot of the people watching at home would definitely really appreciate it, especially those trying to get into the game. So yeah.
We're getting credits from MJ and Nick.
I've enjoyed my time. I particularly like that I get to shout out the illustrators as well, because I do enjoy their artwork a lot. And if you play a Yang Bei Lung Fung deck, I will be calling it the rhubarb and custard strategy.
Yeah, I like that.
You gotta say.
Justice for Lung Feng, Yang Bei to the streets. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time.
Stop hating on Yang Bei. Alright. Bye, guys.
Peace.